Show your credentials, we're going to call the cops.
But they want you trespass from their store?
In a world filled with unexpected encounters, there are moments when even those entrusted to protect and serve can find themselves face to face with someone they never anticipated. It's a collision of personalities where the actions of a few foolish officers intersect with an individual who refuses to be pushed around. Ever wondered what unfolds when misguided law enforcement officers find themselves outmatched? Brace yourself for tales that will make you question authority as we delve into the thrilling encounters that happen when idiot cops meet the wrong person. Dad and son school the cops. On August 24, 2022, an activist and photojournalist named Jason Gutterman, along with his son Benjamin Gutterman, decided to do something called a First Amendment audit while they were visiting the town of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Jason wanted to test if people were respecting the rights protected by the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. Specifically, Jason wanted to see if he could film a liquor store owned by the state. He filmed both the store itself and the parking lot. This was because he had received several complaints from customers about the store. However, an employee of the store noticed Jason and his son filming and asked them to stop. Jason refused to stop filming and told the employee that he was an investigative journalist, which means he investigates and reports on important issues.
What I'm doing is I'm an investigative journalist and I'm working on a story.
Show your credentials, we're going to call the cops.
The employee didn't believe what Jason said, so they asked him to show evidence, like a video or information from the parking lot. But Jason refused to do so once again. The worker then threatened to call the police on them if they didn't do what they were told. The worker didn't take Jason's word very seriously, and they went inside the store to call the police. Officer Ashley Kayafa responded to the situation and asked the worker if they wanted to make a complaint about Jason's trespassing. The worker said yes.
So you want to trespass?
Yes.
And didn't listen to Jason's side of the story. Officer Kayafa then asked Jason for his identification, but she wasn't interested in hearing Jason's perspective and kept insisting on getting his ID. Officer Kayafa said that she needed Jason's ID to officially ban him from the store. However, Jason repeatedly denied the request, saying he didn't do anything wrong to deserve to be banned.
But they want you trespass from their store? Okay.
You better call supervisor, it's not the way it works. I'm staying listen.
When she didn't get what she wanted, see how she tries to scare Jason.
I don't want to get arrested for disorderly or anything.
Remember, it wasn't their store like Officer Kayafa said. It was the store owned by the government, which means it was a place for the public. Jason was recording the scene from a distance outside the store's entrance. However, it seemed like the officer didn't have enough time to hear Jason's explanation about the complaint. Instead, she called for additional help. It's puzzling why she referred to the store as private property.
It's trespassing.
It's a private property that you're allowed.
It's not a private property, it's owned by the state.
No matter how hard the officer tried to sound smart and know everything, Jason managed to catch her at one point. He noticed that she was trying to hide a mistake she made earlier by talking in circles. It's really frightening to consider that a police officer who is trained and expected to have more knowledge stopped arguing with a citizen simply because she couldn't provide a good explanation for her claims. But Officer Kayafa wasn't the only one behaving unreasonably. Later, Officer Ziegler showed up to support Officer Kayafa, but he turned out to be even more unreasonable and aggressive than his colleague.
So if I don't give you my ID, I will be arrested.
You will.
Let's see what the Idaho law says about the situation. Unlike many other states, Idaho does not have a law that requires people to tell the police who they are. However, it seemed that the police officer didn't know this and tried to hide his lack of knowledge. The employees were right to complain about him because he was causing problems for the business. But if we look closely at the video, there was actually no disturbance happening. Jason and Benjamin were far away from the entrance of the business and were not causing any problems that could have affected the store's business. After being wrongly accused of causing trouble, Jason quickly responded.
Violating the law. I was not being disruptive. I was standing 20, 30 feet away from the doorway.
Even though Officer Ziegler came to observe the situation, he made it worse by making it more intense and starting a new argument. This happened when Jason decided to teach him a lesson.
You cannot trespass someone from public property when they have committed no crime. That's the way that works. You're going to learn the law today. You're making a mistake.
After receiving a thorough explanation of the law and a caution about the possibility of being taken to court by Officer Jason, Ziegler attempted to downplay the situation by telling Jason that he was unaware of his actions before arriving at the scene. Ziegler then asked me about something.
I'm sorry. That's a mistake, and you're going to learn that today.
I'm going to back her play with very limited information,
You
right?
can back up her play.
The police officer also admitted that he was supporting his fellow officers' actions without having much information. In a sorry and regretful manner, the police officers said goodbye to Jason and Benjamin and quickly left the area without informing him that he was no longer being held by them. Even though Jason knew the law, the officers still tried to manipulate him. It makes me curious about how they treat regular people in their daily work. The way the officers behaved towards Jason showed a lack of knowledge and professionalism. It's extremely dangerous for our justice system when the people responsible for knowing the law are actually ignorant about it. Sadly, there are police officers who lack knowledge in other places besides Idaho. Citizen teaches deputy a tough lesson. A person in Flagler County was peacefully protesting on a sidewalk against a local business. A deputy came up to them and told them to go away because the deputy thought that recording videos in a public place was illegal. But the citizen knew their rights very well, much to the deputy's surprise.
Okay, if you come out here and you even tell me I can't record something from a public easement, I'm going to hold you liable under Chapter 21, Title 42 United.
The deputy was taught some law and then tried to ask the citizen more questions. However, the citizen had the right to refuse to answer because they hadn't done anything wrong. The deputy felt upset and his ego was hurt because he didn't get an answer. The citizen at the scene asked for a lawyer to be present. The deputy left to talk to other deputies to find out another reason to detain the citizen, but his excuses didn't work. When he returned, he asked the citizen to show identification without a valid explanation. The person behind the camera knew their rights and exposed the deputy's baseless excuses. The deputy's own comment, where he said no crime was being committed, supported the citizen's refusal to give up their ID. According to Florida law, an officer can detain a person if they reasonably believe that the person is involved in a crime. However, since the deputy admitted there was no crime, there was no reason to continue the situation. But the deputy and the other deputies at the scene started acting unreasonably.
What crime do you suspect me of?
There is no crime.
Okay, so in Florida, if there is no crime, then I do not have to identify myself.
After realizing that the cops were being unfair and didn't understand the law, they thought it would be smarter just to leave the person who knew a lot about the law alone. So there you have it. In the realms of law enforcement, when idiot cops meet the wrong person, unexpected twists and turns await. Remember, true strength lies not only in physical might, but also in wit and resourcefulness. Stay tuned for more captivating stories where the boundaries of possibility are shattered and justice finds its way, no matter the odds. Until next time, embrace the power of the unexpected and never underestimate the resilience of the human spirit.